let's talk about for a second arid camo patterns. Now, a lot of people, you see it all the time on forums and everywhere, where all these people are pontificating so eloquently. Camo patterns like arid patterns are just for use out in the desert. That's it, nowhere else, bada bing. Well, that's not always true. A lot of times you can use an arid pattern in a wooded area and have it work quite well. One area where arid patterns really shine, and there was some study and documentation on this that actually proved it. I'll see if I can find the picture, or at least a link to it, and put it up so you can show it. But out of a bunch of different camo patterns tested in urban areas, the one that came out the best was the Marine Corps' Desert MARPAT. Now that's what I've got on right now. This is actual Desert MARPAT, real deal USMC issue. It's not the digital desert that some of the commercial companies offer, although those are really, really close. But this is the actual real Desert MARPAT. This was shown to be the most effective pattern for use in an urban area. And there's a lot of reasons why. In an urban area, you've got usually brighter colors from the sunlight bouncing off of stuff. It's harder for the human eye to track lighter colors in that kind of area. Just a myriad of reasons. Some of it's way above even my level of being able to really understand it or even effectively relay it to you guys. You have to look it up and see what the studies said. But we know that this is effective in urban areas. So if you're an APC and you've got your NPT, Neighborhood Protection Team, for those of you that don't know what that means, and you're not bugging out, you are going to be in your street, your neighborhood, your subdivision, whatever, and it's a urban type, suburban area. Latest and greatest popular camouflage patterns or wooded camouflage patterns or whatever might not be the best for you, even if you're in the deep southeastern part of the U.S., etc. An arid pattern may work a lot better. Now, the digital digital desert patterns that both TruSpec and Proper offer are really, really close to the actual MARPAT desert. Close enough that honestly, I wouldn't fret over the difference. Get whichever one you can at the best price you can that's going to do what you want to do. What I wanted to offer is, up until now, you only had a couple of real choices, okay? You can go with Desert MARPAT, or you can go with a solid khaki setup, okay? Solid khaki is easy to get, tan, Proper, TruSpec, whoever. There's a myriad of companies, not only those but others, that make solid khaki pants. You can get khaki tops, shirts, combat shirts, whatever. So that was, two of your bigger choices. There's a couple of other camouflage patterns out there that work pretty good in urban areas and suburban. Obviously, when I say urban, I'm including suburban, urban, all in the same thing, just FYI. But another option would be something like ATAX AU. The AU in it stands for Arid Urban. There you go. That's a viable choice also. But honestly, for the most part, and there's some other fringe things out there, but for the most part, those are really the primary viable options for urban areas, suburban areas, and actual arid desert areas. You know, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, whatever. But up until recently, that was it. Now, there's another option, and I haven't heard much of anybody talk about it, so I wanted to throw that out there to you. Other than the desert MARPAT and other stuff we discussed and solid khaki, have you given any thought to Multicam Arid? Multicam Arid is relatively new on the scene. You know, haven't been around that long, but you bring over a lot of the same browns and tans from like MARPAT desert, but in an analog pattern instead of a digital pattern. Quite honestly, I would really like to see in the same kind of testing environment that they did with the others where the MARPAT desert come out on top. I would really be interested to see in a head-to-head how Multicam Arid would stack up against desert MARPAT in an urban suburban environment. Honestly, I think in arid areas it's going to work really well, kind of without even, you know, testing or hesitating. I just think it's a really good colorway, a really good pattern. Now, don't judge the patterns, even the MARPAT and everything, by what you're seeing on the video right now, because I'm here in the workshop and all this bright fluorescent lighting, it can do funky things with some of the colors. It'll really make some of the browns almost look pinkish. You can believe that sometimes when it's really not. It's really more of a true brown than what it may look. So just a sidetrack note on that. When you're looking at pictures and videos that guys have taken and posted and put on the internet, always keep that in mind. There are so many different ways depending on the camera the person's using, what the camera settings are, what it's even capable of, the lighting, all that kind of stuff can totally change the way certain patterns and colors look. So be real careful about judging it based off of photos that you see people take and post. A lot of times they're pretty close, pretty accurate, but just always keep that in the back of your head when you're viewing that kind of stuff. So enough detouring on that. Back on track. Multicam Arid. I really think this would potentially make a great urban suburban pattern to use. Not a whole lot of gear out right now in it, although you can get my UW gear test rigs in it. But other than that, go with Coyote Brown. Solid Coyote Brown works great with this. You can get Coyote Brown gear and then have it do double duty just with your regular everyday clothes and not look out of place. Throw on your Arid, you've got a camouflage pattern on, still use your same gear, and it doesn't detract from it or take away from the effectiveness of it. Now, I plan on getting out and doing some informal comparison and testing of this on my own. Don't know when. I've got some upcoming things coming up that might sidetrack me and sideline me for a few days. But once I can, I want to get out. Where I'm at's kind of a pretty suburban area. We're not like a little subdivision where everybody's crammed on top of each other. But I'm going to do what I can with what I got around the house and whatnot. So for now, this is just some food for thought. Start putting it in the back of your head. Go back and look at the original video I did debuting the Multicam Arid from TrueSpec. There's some shots and video of me back in the woods with it a little bit. Might be surprised how it actually works in the woods as well. And always keep in mind, the lighter stuff like this, the MARPAT desert, digital deserts, the solid khaki, and even this, you get out and start using it for real, and you got to get out and train in this stuff, guys. I can't express that enough. you got to get out and train in it. When you train in it, not only are you going to break the clothing in and make it fit and feel better, but it's also going to get dirty, and you want it to get dirty. It's going to get stained. It's going to start taking on colorations from your environment that's around it. You want that. That's a good thing, okay? Unless you're just buying it to show off to your buddies at the range or in your living room or whatever. And hey, if that's your deal, go for it. Just be honest about it. That's all I ask. So, give this some thought, and we're definitely going to pursue this some more and talk about it, because I'm interested myself to see where it goes and what I find out. I don't know what the results are going to be with what I want to test, how I want to test it, and what I want to do with it. I may end up changing my mind before it's all over with, or where I'm at now, I suspect it's actually going to work pretty good and might even surprise a few people. Again, that may change as we go, but I'm hoping I'll be confirmed in that theory. So start thinking about that. Multicam Arid. Maybe it's a good option for you guys out in the Midwest and the desert, suburban, urban areas. If all you've had, really stick with before, something like the Digital Desert, MARPAT Desert, give it a thought. Might be a little comparison. Those of you that haven't seen it before, here you go. This is the Multicam Arid. Think about everything I just said, guys, bouncing around in the old cranium there, objectively. Keyword there, objectively. And we'll see where we go. So stay tuned for stuff last few months this year. Once I get some things squared away, hope to be pretty busy getting you a bunch of stuff out there. So till then, take care, stay prepared, and we'll see you on the next one.